welcome to the 10th community call. And I think as you already know, the antitrust policy, just to get that displayed. For more questions, there's also John in the call to give some guidance from the Linux Foundation. And today, our agenda is the following, that I have a small update on the progress of the foundation. And afterwards, we will also have a presentation with Philipp Pracht, who's from SAP, and showcasing Luigi, which is one of the projects which we donated towards NeoNephos. Afterwards, we can have a Q&A to discuss questions and get your ideas how which we can incorporate into the foundation. So happy to talk about this. And with that, I would say, let's get started. We have a new associate member, the Fraunhofer Institute in Germany, as a new member. I don't know if anyone is from Fraunhofer today in the call. If yes, it would be great if you could say some words about yourself. If not, I would say, welcome, and I would continue with my agenda, which is KubeCon. We are at KubeCon with a lot of projects and presentations. We will have a booth here at the booth number 993. I don't know if anyone from you guys will be at KubeCon. I will be there with a lot of colleagues, and I'm happy to have a coffee with you. So please let me know if you are planning to come, and happy to meet up. And we are trying to organize something that we have room for the members and for the community members, for having discussions and ideations about our projects. And with that, I wanted to also showcase our presentations, what we had. We tried to get as many as possible of our projects into the KubeCon conference. And so this is at KubeCon directly. So I think we have 3 presentations there. And then we will also be presenting some content at the Open Sovereign Cloud Day, which is one side event at the KubeCon. With NeoNephos, we will be at the table T19 together with the Linux Foundation and the other projects which are within the Linux Foundation Europe. And happy to have their talk with you as well. And besides that, we will also have 3 presentations at the Open Sovereign Cloud Day. So I think 6 presentations made it in. We proposed a lot more, maybe the next time. And there's also the Open Source Summit showing up at the end of the year in October, I think from 7th to 9th of October in Prague. We will try to present as much as possible of our NeoNephos content, as we have a lot on our plate. Okay. I think one update which is interesting for this round is the outreach committee. So basically, this year stands for us to bring more strategy and strategic thinking into the foundation. Our way of how we want to shape the roadmap. And with that, we also started the outreach committee, where we invited all members from the foundation being part of that. And the goal is to come up with a strategy, how to interact with the audience, to attract new members, new projects, and to have, for example, the ambassador program. What we, for example, received feedback in the last community call meetings is that there is interest representing NeoNephos. And this is one of the major topics which are also top of my mind, to give that message out there, and to also bring some merchandise that you can represent the foundation, and we also able to give some talks at conferences to spread the word. I think that's really great, and happy that we will start that initiative now. If you have ideas how we should interact, how we can increase the followers here and get the people into the community calls, if you see content which is currently missing, we will have the Q&A later. But feel free to also contact us on our different channels, like here and around, per mail, per Zulip. Happy to talk with you wherever you are. Okay, and with that, before I would hand over to Philip, just like a quick update on our key targets, what we want to try to achieve until the end of Q1, and which is like what I already said, like we want to finalize our roadmap. Our technical advisory council worked on the publications of our goals document for what NeoNephos stands. We published that information already on our website. And with that, we also are working on the project lifecycle document. What does it mean for project being part of the foundation? What kind of benefits does the projects get, and in which lifecycle? And which expectations do we have? What kind of outreach? All of this is being finalized and in the lifecycle document, which is currently in the works and should also be accomplished soon. Then we have some projects which are creating specifications, like our open resource discovery project, for example, which is really great. We already won some award for the best API model. For that, we would like to change the license to make it more adequate for specifications. So this is something to make it more attractive for these projects to be up to date. And we are relying on the best practices from the Linux Foundation, as we are planning to adopt the community specification license model. And with that, I think I would be ready. And Philip, if you want, you can take over and give us a presentation about Luigi.
I'm Philip Racht. I'm an architect at SAP and the chairperson for the Luigi Technical Steering Committee. And I have the honor to present our project today. Let's start with some basic information about the framework. So Luigi is a JavaScript web framework. It's not that new, so it's open source since 2018. Since then, about 60 people contributed to the project and also Dependabot. And we have over 200,000 monthly NPM downloads for all packages that we offer combined. And we are also have quite some recognition in the microfrontend community. You can find us regularly on some top 5, top 7, top 10 lists of microfrontend frameworks you should know. And there are also articles and videos and even a book about microfrontends where we are mentioned. Regarding the relation to the NeoNephos project landscape, you can see here on the right side, we are a dependency of OpenMFP and platform mesh. Okay, so let me start with a brief recap of microfrontends. In my first presentations some years ago, that was always the hardest part because it was quite new approach, but I guess that changed a bit. So it's out there for quite some years now. So I try to keep it short. So microfrontends is about breaking up a web application by its features which then are owned end-to-end by a single team. And yeah, at the end are brought together again as a cohesive user experience. And key aspect here is that all micro-frontends are developed and tested and deployed independently. So strict decoupling from each other. Why would you do that? The main reason is to address development scalability. And yeah, that already kind of indicates that it is an architecture style that is more for large scale UIs. So typically, UIs of a broad scope system where multiple teams would have to contribute to a single UI experience. And that comes, of course, with some limitations, not so much from a technical point of view, but rather communication and alignment between the teams. Because, yeah, the more people are involved in such a thing, the more complicated it gets. And a micro-frontend architectural approach tries to solve that by just simply decoupling everything from each other, which is the easy part, but the hard part is then to get it all together again and make it look like it's one thing. So that's the main reason why it was invented, let's say, but it also can have some, let's say, benefits that come along with it because of the way such a system is decoupled from each other, maybe not for free, but with not much effort on top. You can also have on a functional side some capabilities. For example, modularity is one. So you can have easily, because of this decoupled parts, you can easily have different feature sets of a solution, which might be disabled or enabled based on some subscriptions plans a customer has. Related to that, but not exactly the same, is also UI extensibility. So since you have such a decoupled approach, and you can also easily add UI extensibility capabilities to your solution for, if your customer wants to add additional stuff to your feature set. And also reusability. So looking from the other side, so from the micro-frontend itself, it's also easy to have one micro-frontend deployed somewhere and be used by multiple applications or solutions. One aspect I want to point out is that, there are a special kind of micro-frontend architecture, which is a technology agnostic approach. That means that the isolation of the micro-frontends is that strong that it even allows you to use multiple UI technology stacks. That comes with additional benefits that I have written down here. So gradually update to a new technology stack. So when you want to switch from one UI technology to another, you can do that step by step. You don't have to rewrite your whole application. There are, I don't know, can be reasons why you have to do that. Maybe some license change or whatever, which you are not allowed to use anymore. Related to that, of course, you have no vendor lock-in. And also, if you would use a single UI technology stack, there are from time to time updates which can drag breaking changes. And with a micro-frontend approach, you can also do that step by step. So you don't have to have that heavy alignment on, okay, next quarter, we have to update to the new version of framework XYZ, because you can do it step by step. Okay, here in that slide, I tried to give some technical classification based on the micro-frontends decisions framework by Luca Mezzalera. So he did a great job analyzing existing micro front-end solutions and provide some categories how to distinguish between the different approaches. So first category is definition. There are basically two ways of splitting your application into micro frontend. One is vertical split, that is more let's say a page layout split. So one micro frontend is one view, and horizontal split is one view contains multiple micro frontends. And yeah, Luigi supports both approaches and also a hybrid approach. So you don't have to decide for the one or the other. You can use both in an application. Next category would be the composition. So that's where your actual UI is stitched together. And Luigi is a client-side framework. Therefore, we do client-side composition. There's also server-side and an edge composition, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Same for the routing part. So Luigi supports client-side routing. And yeah, for the communication category, Luigi provides events and URL parameters when navigating from one micro frontend to the other, and also the client API to communicate with the other micro frontends or with the embedding application. And yeah, you probably would have guessed from the last slide, Luigi is also UI technology agnostic. Okay, here I listed more or less the NPM packages that we offer. So on the left side, you have the main parts, let's say. So you have core and container that are used by the embedding applications, and you have the Luigi client that is used by a micro frontend. We come to the core and container a bit later. We also provide auth plugins for authentication authorization. They are optional, but if you use OAuth2 or OIDC, that gives you some level of convenience because yeah, all the glue code is already done. And we have some auxiliary libraries that also can be used for development convenience, like testing utilities that allows you to create some browser-based UI tests for your micro frontends without them being to be integrated in a core application. So they are kind of mocking Luigi core application environment, and you can do some kind of contract testing on the UI level. Then we have client support libraries for UI5 and Angular that provides functionality like, yeah, you can see it as a kind of a wrapper to the Luigi client to fit more into the programming models of UI5 or Angular. And we have a Create React application template for React. Okay, now let's have a deeper look into the main parts of Luigi. So the biggest package that we provide is Luigi Core. That is basically a complete web application without content. So it brings an application shell and built-in UI components for shell bar and navigation and other stuff. It has routing capabilities, authentication, authorization, language support, feature toggles, and so on. So more or less everything you need to define your enterprise-grade application. Then the Luigi client, as said, is the library you would use in your micro frontend. So it's basically a JavaScript API for using the features the shell provides. And Luigi container is a more lightweight approach. So if you do not want to base your whole application only on micro frontends, but want to have some micro frontends injected in some certain places in your application, then you could use a Luigi container, which is a web component and also provides that interface for communicating with the micro frontend. Here I try to illustrate it a bit how that all plays together. Again, Luigi Core app on the top left. You have a set the UI parts that comes with it. The only thing you have to provide is a Luigi config object, which is kind of a declaration of your application. And on the right side, as an alternative, you have the Luigi container integrated in your custom web application. Both are integrating micro frontend. The micro frontend communicates via the Luigi client API with the embedding context. And yeah, worth mentioning, we support, Luigi supports two flavors, I call it like that, of micro frontends. So one is an HTML document style that is basically a web app, which is then integrated via an iframe. Or you can also choose the web component style micro frontend. Then, yeah, it's a JavaScript file that exports a custom element. Okay, here I have an example of the most simple Hello World Luigi Core application. So it also shows that's super easy to use it, to get started with it. And therefore you can see the only thing you need is the Luigi Core package included here from CDN. And then you have the Luigi object where you can set the config for your application. And that's more or less all you need. So you can see here the main or the key part of such a Luigi configuration is the navigation tree. So it's a tree structure of navigation nodes. And a node is mapped to a route and can be mapped to a micro frontend. And you can see here we have two micro frontends included. Just took the one that we host on our Luigi Fiddle Playground application. And yeah, you can give it some parameters via the context object. Yeah, that's all you need for a Luigi Core application. And yeah, super simple example of how to use Luigi container. So I, again, integrate the same example micro frontend from Luigi Fiddle via a Luigi container into vanilla HTML application. Some notes on look and feel. So Luigi Core comes with UI elements based on SAP's design system. Is of course obviously our first choice, or was our first choice, because we used to be developed as an SAP project. But of course you are not limited to that. So the design system or the theme of that can even be changed by CSS variables, but you can also just override the CSS of Luigi, because yeah, if you use Luigi in your application, you are you have full control over your HTML content. And yeah, one example where you can see that is Luigi's own documentation page, because we use Luigi for our documentation page. So that is a Luigi app, which is heavily customized. And yeah, it also shows that it can be even or can have even multi-theme support, because we support here a dark and a light theme. But yeah, if you are not happy with overriding CSS, it's also possible to tell Luigi to completely disable all UI components, and then you can create them by yourself from scratch. That is also possible. It is not at the moment not the best user or developer experience you can have, but yeah, we are working heavily on that topic at the moment, so that this will also be a smooth experience soon. Yeah, that was it for the slides. I've also prepared a small live demo. So I hope you can see my my IDE. So here I've created a small project with yeah, a core application, an HTML-based micro frontend, and a web component-based micro frontend. And yeah, I start them all on their own web server on different ports. And yeah, you can see here, this is more or less the same that you have seen on the slide. And yeah, if I now open it up here, yeah, it's what you would expect probably. And now I add some child nodes to the Luigi node. And yeah, one is the HTML based and one is the web component based. And that looks then like that. So if I go to Luigi, you can see it still shows the Luigi micro frontend, but on the left side navigation, it replaced the content by the child nodes of the Luigi node. That's also, yeah, you can configure how that behaves, but that's the default. And if I now click on the HTML node, you can see the HTML-based micro frontend. And on the web component node, you can see identically looking version of it as a web component. Yeah, so let's have a quick look how that looks from the code side. So here, yeah, it's a plain HTML document. It includes the Luigi client library, again from CDN, and yeah, some styles. And here is yeah, the HTML content with a button. Now, where it gets interesting is on the JavaScript side. So here we use the Luigi client API to add an init listener. That is, yeah, you can look at it as your main function. So that is called after Luigi has rendered your micro frontend, and the whole initial handshake has been done and so on. And then Luigi sends you an event that your init phase was successful, and it gives you the context object that is configured in the node configuration. And here you can see what we do is we just change the inner HTML of the title element with the thing that is defined in the Luigi configuration. And then here I have a click listener for the button. And this calls, again, Luigi client API, in that case, the link manager, and it opens a modal micro frontend, which is defined by the route home Mario. And on the web component side, as said, same functionality, looks exactly the same. It's just that the way you access the Luigi client and the context is a bit different, because in that case, the Luigi client is injected as a property to the web component and also the context. but the rest is more or less the same. And yeah, if we now click on this button, you can see that it opens the Mario web component in a modal. And the same for the HTML version of it. And yeah, last thing is that I have prepared a few other buttons to show you a selection of things you can do. Of course, it's not everything, there's a lot more, but just that you get an overview what kind of things you can do with the Luigi client. So first additional button is to navigate. So that is really a route change. We use here the link manager from parent. That means it always takes the context from the microfrontend where you currently are. So from parent is similar to a // and then I navigate to the web component node. Then the second button, we show an alert with a text we can define. Then we have a confirmation modal that we show that even gives you back some information if the user has clicked confirm or not. And last thing is adding a backdrop to the whole application that is useful, for example, if you want to show a modal only within your micro frontend and want to also block UI access in the main application, because and you can see they're already there. So first, navigate to route, goes to the web component, clicking back, now show alert, shows an alert, show confirmation, shows confirmation, and reacts on whether I confirmed or dismissed it, and the toggle backdrop functionality just blocks the core application. Yeah, I think with that I'm done, and I would hand over to Christian for Q&A session.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. First, I would say, are there any questions towards the project?
Hi, Philip, here's Tasu. Hey,
Hi.
quick question. Where are you going to take the project next? What's on your agenda? What is on your roadmap?
We're currently mainly working on the separation of the Luigi core functionality and its UI. So we will have it more abstract, and with that, Luigi core can have a completely separate UI head. So we call it Luigi headless, and then of course the Luigi head implementation. Yeah, that's what we're currently working on with full steam. We also already have a first version published of the Luigi core headless. And I guess that's mainly because being now a NeoNephos project, of course, we should also support other design systems in a similar way like we do with the SAP ones.
Makes sense. So essentially you are like the grunt framework that gives certain functionality, but it's actually the use case comes with OpenMFP and or with platform mesh or other types of use cases that actually make it sexy, and you're just the grunt work. And that
exactly.
Okay.
So as OpenMFP and platform mesh being our let's say next partners or customers here, of course we will also react on their requirements with highest priority.
Okay, thank you.
All right. What else? Questions to the project? Questions to the foundation? Happy to discuss everything here.
Hi, Christian. It's Mirza here from Platform. I just have one question in regards to this ambassador program. I would love to know a little bit more about it because I actually have a couple of people in mind who would be interested in that. Do we have any sort of insight into when this program would be made available or how to apply for it?
So basically, we just kickstarted the outreach committee, and in that outreach committee, these nominated peoples are discussing that. I cannot give a date right now, but from my perspective, we would like to ship that out as soon as possible to have the chance this year for the conferences to have these people talking about our content and so on. So there's no date, unfortunately, but we are trying our best to bring that as soon as possible. I don't know, Chris, you are nominated from our side. Can you give us an update on the outreach committee already? Or maybe if not, we can also take that for the next community call, and happy to give an update then.
Yeah, there's just been a kickoff from the outreach committee, so get to know each other. And we are working on several topics with regards to the outreach committee itself. And of course, the ambassador program is included as well. But as Tristan made the introduction, so I would like to hand over to Tristan. So maybe this would be also interesting, giving a word from Tristan.
Yes, it is on the agenda of the outreach committee. The committee has just started, but it is at the top of our minds. We also already have a draft on how it could look like, but people have to look into it. And there's no final date on when the ambassador program will be available, but we are working on it. It's on our minds.
Okay, no worries. Just want to make sure. So it's essentially you're solidifying what the program would look like, and then once that's made public, there will be ways for people to apply and says, "Hey, I would like to be an ambassador," and then I can ask then some people also in different companies to do that if that's correct.
Yes, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the way it should go. Not only open source and code, but also open source and community as well, of course.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, I also see Piotr joining. Any questions?
Sorry for being late. Yeah, actually, I have a question. I'm not sure because it was about the Luigi framework today, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw the recording from Viktor Farcic, the guy behind the YouTube channel called DevOps Toolkit, very, very famous one, 100,000 subscribers, a big one. He recorded a material yesterday saying that the future of UIs is AI, automatically generated UIs, like dynamic UIs. Did you have any discussion about this topic? Because I know that Luigi is trying to address some of the challenges in there. Because what I think about the future of infrastructures and platforms is very big acceleration of API changes. New APIs popping up like from day to day, right? Every day there will be new APIs. The old APIs will be changing constantly. So building the front end, which is adapting to all the changes on the backend side, is going to be really hard and complicated. And this is also the same, I think, Viktor Farcic noticed. We need the front-end layer to be somehow automatically generated, perhaps with use of LLMs or whatever else, but it has to be more dynamic than what we know today. Do you have an answer in Luigi today to this problem? Like, let's assume that 20% of APIs will be changing from, week to week, right? Is Luigi capable to handle that?
Yeah, good question. And yeah, of course, we also had already some discussions about that topic and also some predictions how that will look like in the future. I would see Luigi itself not that much, I'd say, in the role of doing that, but of course the micro frontends itself that can be embedded by Luigi could be also something completely dynamic. So of course the question is always how or where you draw the line. If you want to have something stable around your AI stuff that always looks the same, or really just want to have a canvas where AI can do what it wants to do, but that's also then up to the solution, I guess. I think in platform mesh, for example, there are already some UIs that are kind of declarative and showing some Kubernetes resources and so on. And I think, of course, that can be well suited for some AI magic that adapts to API changes.
So the flow would be like LLM generates the YAML, then it's consumed by Luigi and represented in the form of iframes, which are more flexible, right, or safe to use.
Could be one approach, yeah. But again, it's on the Luigi side, we are more or less the frame around UIs, so we are not dealing with
more like an umbrella for iframes, right? Okay, then
all web components.
Okay, I'm still not like very familiar with Luigi. Just give it a try for a couple of minutes. I think it's worth of more investigations. But yeah, the future is unclear, of course. Everyone is experimenting. But what I know for sure today, and this is 100% sure, APIs are changing like crazy. Companies are building products, new APIs, like it was never before, right? So the UI layer needs to be dynamic. There is no chance we'll be, like deploying a front end and back end separately, like it was, 5 years ago, right? So whenever you build a portal like this, you need to take into account it has to be automatically adapting to the backend APIs. Thanks. So that's only question from my side. I'm going to watch the whole recording after it's published. Thanks.
All right. Anything else? If not, I would say thank you for joining this community call, number 10, and hope to see you at KubeCon and in the next community call. Take care. Bye.